Polarity therapy is a simple and effective method used to bring on deep healing relaxation. It's easy to learn, subtle, powerful, safe, and fun. By employing the currents of life force that naturally flow through everyone's hands, we can release and balance another person's energy. As long as that energy is flowing freely, we experience well-being and health. I believe Frank Herbert once said that life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. And on this tape, we're going to explore the mystery of life force therapy and polarity therapy. You know, I remember it was about 12 or 13 years ago when I had my very first polarity session, and I was feeling just about my worst that day. It was really incredible. This woman named Valerie gave me a session of polarity therapy, and I'd feel these surges of energy going through my body. I'd never experienced anything like it. It was like rivers of energy pouring through me. And in the course of about 35 or 40 minutes, I went from feeling just about my worst to just incredibly well. Well, hundreds of sessions later, I've been so astounded by the kinds of results that polarity therapy can provide that I wanted to share this with other people. So I wrote my book, Your Healing Hands, The Polarity Experience. When you see the polarity therapy session done, it may look extremely easy. Healing itself is easy. The body knows how to heal itself. For millions of years, we've evolved with the knowledge of how to heal ourselves. And what we're going to do is show you those methods so that you can access that energy within yourself. What is life force? I speak about this life force. You can think of it as that spark of life, perhaps the animating current of life. And it's a physiological reality within the body. For countless centuries, many different cultures have spoken about life force, and they've each given it names. In Hawaii, the Hawaiians would call it mana. In China, they would call it chi. In Japan, they'd call it ki. In India, the Indian yogis have called it prana. Russians in their research, their psychic research, have called it bioplasmic energy. But regardless of the name, it seems to be a kind of invisible circulatory system that flows through the body. And whenever energy becomes blocked in any single part of the body, we've used things such as acupuncture, acupressure to open up that blocked area. And with polarity therapy, we just allow the energy to run through that area. Sometimes we'll use pressure to open up that blocked area, and other times we'll just have a very light touch to open up that area. But what we rely on is the body's own innate intelligence to decide what to do with that energy and where it should go. And it's very easy to experience, and I want to give you a demonstration of that right now. So you at home and you in the audience, why don't you rub your hands together for a moment. We do have an audience here. There's a little peanut gallery up on the side. Okay. Now hold your hands a few inches apart and bring them back and see what you feel. See if you can feel a vibrating or a tingling sensation between your hands. And I'm going to get one of you to come up here. Anyone who wants to. Just come on up. And go ahead. Put one of your hands between mine. Okay? I'm just going to feel what we're feeling. Now what I notice is that as I pass over a certain part of the hand, the tingling increases. Now I'm going to point out where that is. Okay. Do you feel it right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the spot. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. What happens is, when you're working with the energy of another person, the place where I feel the tingling most strongly, that vibration, corresponds to where the other person is feeling that sensation. The history of polarity therapy was started, I guess, with the birth of Randolph Stone. He was born in 1890 from Austria. He immigrated to the United States. He was an osteopath, a naturopath, and a chiropractor. And yet, with all his knowledge of healing, he wasn't satisfied with what he had learned. So he traveled to France and to China and learned acupuncture and herbology. And later he went to the Orient and learned this spagyric art of healing as taught by Paracelsus von Hohenheim. in which involves subtle electric fields. And over his 60 years of practice that the man had, he developed the polarity therapy system. Well, just as the Earth and Sun have electromagnetic north and south poles to them, the subtle energies seem to mirror those qualities as well. The top of the head has a more positive charge than the feet. The right side has a more positive charge than the left. The principle is that whenever you put the right and left together, like on magnets, you end up with an attractive current that flows between. So you'll put your right hand to the left side of the person's body, generally speaking, the left to the right side of the body. And when you're working the vertical center line of the body, what you'll see is that you want to have the left hand above and the right hand below. What happens is the life force flows through the body and will open up wherever the blockages are. Now, whether they're physical blockages or emotional blockages, the life force will go through and help to open those up. So one of the secrets of healing is that it involves resonance. And that means that the person who's acting as the healer is holding a resonance of love, gratitude, giving, happiness, or whatever. And the person who's receiving the healing work, and who actually, in fact, is the healer, because they're the one who's responsible to get well, what happens when there's two things vibrating in different resonance, the law of resonance, is either the higher resonance will come down, the lower resonance will come up, or they're going to meet in the middle. When you're doing the healing work, what you want to do is hold your resonance. Hold that resonance, like in football. Anyway, you hold the high resonance of giving, of loving, of caring, whatever it is that attracts you to be doing healing work in the first place, and just be there and stay there. That the secret of healing was, in her words, to put kisses in your fingers. So what kinds of touch do we use in polarity therapy? We've got three basic kinds. We're going to use a deep pressure type of touch. We're going to have a very light touch. And we're also going to work with a non-physical touch.